What's crack-a-lackin', everyone? I've reached a stage in boredom where ranking Risk of Rain 2 monsters based on how good they'd taste is the most fun thing I can do. Risk of Rain features many fantastical enemies, ranging from godlike to adorable and even satanic. Doesn't that make you wonder how they'd taste? No? Too bad. Let's get into it. Beetles and beetle guards, and to extent beetle queens, appear to have a tough shell. While they're essentially giant bugs, I feel like their gooey insides could probably elicit like a nice, tangy sort of flavor. All of them are going in B tier, I think. And wisps and greater wisps, they're spirits. I don't know how I'd eat them. D. Bighorn bison would be a great animal to eat because they're bison, and there's already an item called bison steak in-game. I expect them to taste like a normal bison, so they're going in the A tier. Stone golems and titans are literally stone, which, despite my best efforts, I cannot digest. D tier. Jellyfish are going in the C tier. While calamari sounds delicious, that does not excuse the fact that they are volatile. Wandering vagrants are different. They don't explode when in close proximity to you. Plus, that electricity could impart an interesting flavor sensation. A bit like Pop Rocks, maybe? For that, they go in A tier. Lemurians and Elder Lemurians. Let's face it, reptiles are boring. I don't care if they breathe fire. I don't care if they taste like chicken. They're both going in C. Oh boy. Blind vermin and pests. These guys are the worst. And as much as I would love to eat them, I'm dunking them into D tier with all of my might because they are acidic and would burn through my insides, probably a bit like Taco Bell. Larvae 2. The clay family would be fantastic to dig into with their innate flavor, and I'm kidding. I'm not gonna eat clay or drink tar. D tier. Brass contraptions are literally metal, so probably D tier. And many mushrooms, they're a step up from the last few. Their name implies that they're sentient fungi, and that means they would be great on a burger. These guys are getting a respectable B tier. Magma worms and overloading worms, however, are aggressive and are made of magma and electricity, respectively. And while the idea of eating them is not off the table, I would have to wait until their internals cooled down. They still have potential, though, so I'll give them a high C. Gups would be fantastic as a sort of gelatin. Alternatively, barbecuing one might give them a sort of subtle, smoky beef flavor. They'll be our first S tier. Geeps and Gips, too. The Z family are going in D for being inedible as well as ending one of my runs. Fathers and grandfathers are going into B tier. The reason being that grandfather's boss item implies they're kind of a twisted up bird. And chicken does sound nice right now. They are incredibly profoundly warm though, so that unfortunately puts them in a low B. Not gonna lie, the Grove Tender seems like a respectable fellow, and eating him would make me feel sad. D for don't. The Imp family would almost certainly boast a tangy, juicy taste. This, along with the pudding-like consistency of their blood-filled bodies, will earn them a very nice high B tier. The Soulless family is more metal. I cannot digest metal. D tier. Vulture wings would definitely be great when seasoned with some sauce, maybe some Frank's Red Hot. For this, they'll get a B. The Aurelianite is a contraption banished by Mithrix. Not only is it inedible, I would hate to delay their late appointment. D tier. The hermit crabs would be profoundly annoying to hunt, but I can imagine if there were a sort of native people on Petrichor, they would be a sort of delicacy. So I'll put them in B tier in the spirit of that whole deal. The lunar family are constructs of Mithrix. Constructs. I don't want to need a machine. D tier, especially Mithrix. If the Malachite urchins didn't cause major anemia, they would get a high C tier, but they do, so they get a D. Scavengers would probably taste fruity and heavy due to the weight of your poor life choices. Low C. Newt will go into C tier for being an amphibian, which I deem is too close to reptiles. Void parasites would infect me before I could take a chomp at them. I don't really want them near my mouth or my body. D tier. Void barnacles would definitely be a nice snack, but I don't know if barnacles are edible, and for that, I'll put them at B tier. Void reavers look like they would be great with garlic butter and satisfying to shuck. I'll put them at A tier. Void jailers are giant pistol shrimps. I think that much shrimp would be a blessing. If you can manage to get some cocktail sauce and Petrichor 5, then this shrimp of doom will go in the A tier. The Void Devastator, my beloved. I love crab. And the fact is that the Devastator is just a big old crab. I'll give him the fabled S tier. Finally, we have the Voidling. Just like the Devastator, the Voidling is a giant crab. However, this is mitigated by its slimmer form, so probably the lowest of S tier. With that, we have munched on all the little guys across Petrichor, and its moons. If you disagree with my ranking, I'll find you. Peace.